Welcome back to the Week in 7 Questions, and welcome to our special guest, Member of the European Parliament, Petri Sarvamaa. Petri, what exactly is the rule of law in 50 words?
The rule of law requires that all public powers act within the constraints set out by law, according to the principles, of course, of democracy and fundamental rights, and under the supervision of independent and impartial courts.
Now, is that definition valid across the whole EU, or are there different national versions?
There's not really much room for different national versions of the rule of law. The rule of law either is or it isn't. And of course we see in today's Europe efforts to convince other Europeans that we are sort of like following our own, it's our decisions, etc. But if you don't have independent judiciary, then it's not the rule of law.
Is the rule of law debate arriving to Finnish homes too, in between of all the noise about COVID-19?
To what extent this topic is interesting to Finns, I would say that it's equally interesting to all Europeans. And Finns are not brighter or more stupid than other Europeans. That is to say that for your ordinary citizen, this is something that is very, very abstract and difficult to understand. So there we really need a lot of media attention. And it has been on the rise considerably in Finland during the last couple of years, of course, because of the Finnish presidency last year, and now because there is a Finnish rapporteur.
And why is all this so important that we risk a major crisis among the member states?
Let me put it this way. If we don't stop this train now, then we will find ourselves in a really, really grave crisis all over Europe. Because this is not about certain member states. This is really, really important to underline. It's about any member state. If politicians come to power in member state X or member state Y in the European Union, and they gain total control of the parliament, then we always face the risk, the temptation to erode the rule of law.
Which EU institution should make sure that the rule of law doesn't become the law of the rulers?
Commission is the key. Commission is the guardian of the treaties. If the rule of law is properly implemented and present in a member state, then the mechanisms in that member state will safeguard and guarantee that the rule of law is followed. But whereas the institutions of the European Union, it's the Commission.
Which instrument is best suited to make governments stick to the rule of law?
As far as the instruments that we see, well, in place we have, of course, Article 7 of the treaty. It's toothless. That's basically why we are now at a negotiating table with the Council, and that's why the Commission proposed this regulation back in 2018, because Article 7 simply doesn't mean anything for a member state if it has a body in another member state, because you need the unanimity in the Council in order to have any sanctions on that member state that is breaching the principles of the rule of law. And now you have the annual rule of law report. Well, it's a report, it's great, it's good to have, but again, of these instruments, this is what we need. This is why we are serious about making this regulation come true.
Petri, your ancestors came from Russia. What do you think Putin is thinking about our rule of law struggles in the EU.
Хорошо, товарищи. Unfortunately, I have to say that the more we squabble with this thing inside the Union, the happier comrade Putin will be. That is because it serves some of the foreign policy interests that Russia has. It serves them, the more the Union is divided, the weaker it is, the stronger Russia thinks, or Putin thinks, that Russia would be vis-a-vis Europe. That, of course, is not the case, but that seems to be their thinking. So we have to get our act together.
Kiitos, Petri, and thanks to everyone for watching. And see you again next week with another surprise guest.